Temecula with your host, Brayden Wiggins. Produced by Jolie Wiggins. Cinematography by the Wiggins family. Hi, I'm Brayden Wiggins, and I'm going to take you on a tour of Old Town Temecula. I will also be interviewing some people who know about Temecula. To get us started, Old Town has an annual celebration that honors the historic period. It is called the Western Days. Come on, let's go check it out. Now we're in the heart of Old Town and getting ready to see the gunfight at high noon. Hi, are you guys planning to see the gunfight at noon?
See a gunfight? Well, we're going to be robbing this bank right behind me at noon.
Oh, I think I'll keep that in mind. I think I'll come and watch. So you guys like Western Days so far?
Oh, yeah. So far, yes.
It's really cool, huh?
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Well... Hi, I'm going to go down the line and ask you one at a time what your name is, okay?
Hi, I'm Tiger Lil.
And I'm Jingles.
I'm Dauntless Dick Derringer.
I'm Ripper Dog.
Oh, nice to know. So you guys having a good day on Western Days so far?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It'd be better when we rob a bank.
So something's happening at noon today, is that correct?
Hey, I think that's when we're robbing the bank.
Okay, I think...
Don't tell any of them law dogs, okay?
Okay.
Really?
I'll make sure I won't. Okay. Thanks very much.
All right, partner. You're welcome.
Norm, over here. Come on, go. David.
Level pistol. And set. Call you out. Alrighty. All right, boys, get out here.
Hey, I don't see the sheriff. You know it. You guys go in the bank. The withdrawal is right slippery. I need to talk to you. What? Yeah. I want you to stay out here.
I don't have to stay out here. I want to be the boss.
You're not the boss. I'm the boss.
Don't you remember what happened the last time? What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you messed it up, so you gotta stay out here this time. But you're gonna be our lookout, okay?
You can whistle, can't you? Yeah, whistle. All right, you see the sheriff, make sure you whistle.
Okay, now, remember, just stay out here, and if you see him, either whistle or come get us, okay?
Okay, pay attention.
All right. Okay. Wait a minute, Slippery! I said pay attention.
I am.
Get out of here, Missy. He's got a job to do. Sorry. Thank you. You got one?
Slippery! Slippery, get over here. When did you get out of jail?
Yesterday?
Where's that no good dynamite? Dick! He's in the back. I mean, he's over there. Lobo! Good. I didn't do nothing. Oh, hi, Lobo. Haven't seen you for a while.
Slippery?
Good.
Where's that no-account boss of yours, Dynamite?
He's over there,
Nick?
busy,
Busy where?
making a withdrawal.
Take him out of here.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. This ain't working. There we go.
You don't find Slippery. You tell us if it's all clear, okay? All right. Slippery! Where did he go? Slippery! Probably in the saloon again. No, where? I can't tell. I don't know where Slippery is. Slippery! In the air. No, it's clear. Yeah, it's clear. Come on out. Come on, boys. Wait a minute. That's the law, dog. You said it was clear. How you doing?
He's your brother. What's the matter with you?
You lied to me. I couldn't. Don't you ever lie to me again, boy.
Dynamite!
What?
What you think you're doing?
Lead our well deserving there. We just made a withdrawal.
I don't think so.
What?
I think you and your boys have about 2 choices.
What?
Choice 1, drop your guns, drop the money,
What? What?
and go to jail quietly. Or number 2, you can open the ball.
Hey, boys, you still like dancing?
Hey, I'm good at dancing.
Oh, okay. You ain't got that. Go, boys!
You're the what? Never learn, do they? No, hey, Digger. Looks like you're going to be busy for a while. Clear.
Okay, here we are in front of some of the gunfighters. How do you guys think you did?
Well, I'm a law dog, son, so I came out on top.
Well, I'm one of the desperados, and I didn't do as well today.
And I got the money. You think the law got away with something? Ha! I did.
So, how do you think you did?
I'm Rowdy, and I'm a bank robber, and I got killed.
Well, it's too bad.
Slaves, I take care of them all.
Wow.
Lots of fun to let you down.
Wow. Thank you very much. How do you think you did?
I did great. I get to bury them all.
Good payday.
Daniel?
Hey! Hey! Who's from out of the country? Anybody from out of the country? That's the bad guy.
No, I'm the first man. Don't you listen? Right, I can get him right there.
That's not with the Oh, to the west.
Oh, please put your hat back on.
Here.
That's ridiculous. I ain't never heard of such a thing. Get out.
Oh, to the west.
Oh, to the west.
It's going to be unable.
All right, let's get this over with.
Come on, give the boss one.
Another part of Western Days are the arts and crafts and other enjoyable activities for the family. Okay, here we are at the Temecula Valley Posse, and what is that actually?
The Temecula Valley Posse is a group of volunteers that ride out of the Southwest Sheriff's Station, and we work special events, and we work search and rescue.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We've been together for 7 years, and we have about 20 members right now.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
It's got a wave to the camera. Say hi.
Should we wait till the next one so I can get her in this seat?
Well, either been running.
Wasn't that fun? Now let's head over to the Temecula Museum. Tour begins. Hi, here we are in front of the Temecula Museum. Here we are with our tour guide Henry Miller. Can you tell us a little about the museum?
Yes, I can. The Temecula Valley Museum is the place where we come to learn about our roots. This is where we hold the history of the valley, in the whole valley, and this is where people come to learn about the history and learn more about becoming a neighbor of their community and a better citizen. We're also going to be visiting Old Town Temecula today, where we're going to be looking at some of the old buildings in town that helped establish this as a community and learning the stories behind that.
That's going to be fun. So here we are beginning our tour. Here we are in front of the Temecula Museum monument. Can you tell us a little bit about this monument?
Yeah, this is the Sam Hicks monument. This is actually named They Passed This Way. It was listing all the names of the people who made a mark in the valley and helped create this valley as the valley that we now have it today.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Now let's carry on with our tour.
Also included in the Sam Hicks Monument Park is the Chapel of Memories. This Chapel of Memories actually started out at St. Catherine's Catholic Church. This was the first church in the valley that was built as a church. Very good, but wrong. You see you see the door up there? All right, you guys know why we have wooden sidewalks in the Old West?
Because they didn't have cement.
Oh, yeah, cement was around, and so was concrete. Concrete was invented over 2,000 years ago by the Romans during the Roman Empire. But you see, when the Roman Empire fell in the year 77 AD, we also lost the recipe for concrete. We did. But cement has been around for quite some time. But actually, in the Old West, what do we have? We have dirt roads, right? And we have a lot of horses. So when we come to town and we had to walk in the dirt streets, what did we get on our shoes? Horse poop, right? And what else? Mud, exactly. So we had the wooden sidewalks with the gaps. You see, we can scrape our feet off into the gaps and then they fill up like this, you see? And this is why we have the wood sidewalks, to keep our feet clean when we walked into another business, or so we wouldn't have to walk in the mud and horse poop all the time. What we were standing in front of is this granite pillar. This granite pillar is a hitching post used by the cowboys in the Old West days. Actually, they used these hitching posts all the way up till about 1972 in the city of Temecula. But you see, in 1880 to 1925, granite was a big production or product here in the Temecula Valley. Granite has been used in the cornerstone for the Riverside County Courthouse, and it is also used to create all of the curbing on Market Street in San Francisco when they were rebuilding it after the 1906 earthquake. But not only that, Temecula granite is famous throughout the United States as headstones and mileage markers too. In fact, between Barstow and Las Vegas, Nevada, you can see granite mileage markers, and they are from Temecula. And Temecula granite actually passed away in 1925.
We are now in front of the Palomar Hotel. Can you tell us some interesting facts about this hotel?
Yes, the Palomar Hotel was built in 1927, and it was originally known as the McCulloch Hotel. This was a famous hangout for the community, because right next to and part of the Palomar Hotel is where the old soda fountain used to be during the 50s and 60s. We used to go here and get our Cokes. Now today, we can go to 7-Eleven or we can go to the corner market and just pull a Coke right off the shelf. Well, back in 1955, we had to come here to the Palomar Hotel and go in the soda shop where they made the Cokes. They would take Coke syrup and they would add maybe vanilla or cherry or strawberry or chocolate flavoring. Chocolate Coke's the best. Oh, it's so good. But anyway, then they would use the spritzer water or carbonated water and fill it up and mix it up. And they would always take a scoop of vanilla ice cream, which was homemade, and plop it right in the cup for us. And this is how we had our sodas back then in 1955. And now we can go to the store and just pull them off the shelf. And they're coming out now with canned vanilla Coke. They're bringing out the same Coca-Colas that we had as a little kid, as I had as a little kid, going here to the Palomar Hotel. But now they're canning it for us.
Hi, what do you guys think of the tour so far?
Awesome.
Awesome.
It rocks. Good.
Well, that's good to hear your explanations. And we're going to continue on with the tour. We're standing in front of the first store in Temecula. Can you tell us about this building?
Yeah, this store was first built in 1882 by Simon Munt, who was an opportunist. Of course, this store has had additions from there, but he actually built this store when the railroad came through town so he could provide stuff or services for the people on now.
Here we are at the Ramona Inn. Can you tell us about this building?
Yes, this building was built in 1896 by John Wilty. And he had a whole bunch of daughters, and he also built the hotel that we'll be visiting at a little bit later in the tour. But in 1907, he sold this to Joe Winkles. Now, Joe Winkles was a very, very interesting man and has a great history all to himself. But what was very famous with this is this was the home of Jack Dempsey and Jack Sharkey. They were the heavyweight boxing champions of the world, and they trained right up on the upper floor here and lived on the other side. Right down below here was the world-famous Blind Pig Saloon. This is where people, instead of knocking on the door during Prohibition and having a guy saying, Joe sent me, and then letting him in, they would just walk on in and belly up to the bar and say, give me a blind pig. And with that signal, they would get a beer. And if they said, give me a hard pig, that was whiskey.
Thank you very much. So what do you think about this tour, Mr. Bieber?
Well, I'll tell you what, Brayden, this is pretty amazing. And the knowledge that Mr. Miller has is incredible. And I'll tell you what, the sights that we're seeing is really, really fun right now. So what a great use of a Saturday afternoon. Thanks for inviting us.
You're welcome very much. So let's carry on with our tour. We are now in front of the Old Town Jail. Now, what is historical about this building?
Well, this Old Town Jail, as it's called, is actually a water tower that provides running water for the Wilty building or the Ramona Inn that we were just in front of. Down below here, as we now know as the jail today, is actually a wine cellar, and it was built to store wine and alcohol during the days of Prohibition. If we close up these doors and windows, it would be a constant 68 degrees in there. And that is the perfect temperature to store wine and other alcohol products.
Thank you very much. Now, let's get on with the tour now. Now, I am now standing in front of the Hotel Temecula. Now, can you tell us some more about this building?
Yeah, the Hotel Temecula was first built by John Wilty back in 1887, right after the Temecula Hotel burnt down. Because Mr. Wilty knew that with the train service in town that they needed a place to stay. And this helped also establish Temecula as a community in the third Temecula. Now, it burned down in 1891 towards the middle of the year, and the whole community came together and rebuilt it like an old barn raising. Man, woman, and child, we all came and we had just a good time putting up the walls and rebuilding it. Now, it's not in its original form because actually it was going south to north instead of east to west. And But you see, in 1960, Mr. and Mrs. Horace Parker bought the building and restored it to the way it looked in 1891, all the way down to the cherry furniture, the feather beds, and the chamber pot. And if you do look, we have windows for each room, so you have a window to throw your pot out.
Thank you very much. Now let's carry on. Now there looks like there's work being done in this building. Can you tell us about this one?
You know, this building here has got one of the most charming characters in all of Temecula. This building here was actually built on lot 62 in Temecula. As we broke up the lots, we had a lottery, 70 entries into the lottery for $1 a piece. Now, Mr. Philip Pullman actually got number 62, and they gave him the land here. Well, at this time, back in 1889, we had this old abandoned brick factory to the south of town, and Mr. Pullman went and got all the bricks and came back and cleared the land and built this building. Now, what we see here is construction going on, is we're retrofitting this building by our funds, by the citizens of Temecula. If we raise $1 million and retrofit this building, the city of Temecula will take our money and give it to us so we can build the inside of this. But Uncle Sam, the federal government, will give us back $11.8 million of our money so we can build a performing arts center on the back of us. Now, this performing arts center is going to have 500 seats in its main theater. It's going to have 300 seats in its rehearsal hall. It's going to have dance studios, stage design studios, and also enough storage for everything. Now, everybody in the community will be allowed to come and use this facility because it's owned by you and I, the citizens of Temecula. We are at $875,000 right now in raising money for the retrofit of this building. This building is 1890 and it needs to be upgraded to earthquake safety. Otherwise, if we walk in there and have an earthquake, this stuff's going to come down on our head. And we don't want that. But we wanted to save the building, and the only way we could preserve it is using creative financing by using redevelopment funds that we've already given to the federal government, and we're getting those back to build our center. And this is going to really spur a lot of growth in the beautiful city of Temecula.
Thank you very much. Let's keep on going. We are now at the First National Bank of Temecula. Now, Henry Miller is going to tell us more about this building.
Now, the First National Bank of Temecula was built in 1813, and what's really interesting about this is that this building first opened in 1914. It was the very first solid reinforced concrete structure ever built in Southern California. Not only that, this bank has a history of being the only bank during the Great Depression of the 1920s and 30s to not close its doors in all of California. Well, this was a milestone not only for California, but for the nation. Not many banks were able to stay open during the Great Depression. This bank closed in 1947 due to bad real estate deals, mainly in financing the development of Elsinore. Okay? And with that, the bank had to close. Now, one interesting thing that this bank was only robbed once by Miguel Diaz on August 13th of 1930. Now, the teller was Mrs. Freeman, and the secretary of the bank at the time was a guy named Mr. Chisholm. And Mr. Chisholm got an award for capturing Miguel Diaz.
That's great. Thank you very much. Let's carry on.
He thought the only way that he could learn how to fly a big plane was to rob the bank. He went to Rainbow, which went out to find out what was going on, and guess what he saw? Well, Mr. Chisholm said, well, fine. Hey, no problem. He did come. But what he did, bam, bam! he fired. Mr. McSweeney said, what's going on? And Chisholm said, we're being robbed.
Can you tell us about this mural behind us?
I sure can. This mural was painted in 1996 by a lady named Robin Golden. She spent 6 months painting this and drawing all of that you see freehand. What's really interesting about this is that this wall depicts the history of Temecula in a picture from our first era down there. It's called the Butterfield Overland Stage era, that happened in 1858 to 1861. It went out of basic business because of the Civil War, and Mr. Butterfield sold it to Wells Fargo. But his business is still going strong today. It's now called the American Express Company. Don't leave home without it. And the next era we have is our railroad era that started in 1881 by the California Southern Railroad, as it was built from National City to Colton, California, and which ran through the communities of Fallbrook, Temecula, and Marietta, and Elsinore, and then went through Railroad Canyon all the way to Paris, and then on to Colton. In this part of the mural, we have the big balloons there that shows everybody what Temecula is like today in the modern era. We have our Wine and Balloon Festival, and even when we don't have our festival on Saturdays or Sundays, you can actually see the balloons flying overhead of this beautiful, beautiful valley. Including in this is the Rock of Nahashish, who was the Indian that named our valley Temecula, which means where the sun shines through the mist. And on continuing on, she did want to put in the beautiful, beautiful animals and birds that we do have in our valley, such as the cottontail and the golden eagle, the bald eagle, and the red-tailed hawk.
Here we are back at the Temecula Valley Museum, and we just wanted to thank Henry Miller for a great tour. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. You know, learning about our history is very important no matter what your age is, because the more you can learn about the history, the more you know your roots, and the stronger foundation you will have to grow up as a good person, and a person that not only cares about their neighborhood, but also cares and contributes to the betterment of their whole community.